Okay, so here we are with some Final Fantasy 15 gameplay. I just wanted to boot this game up to talk about this topic. And more importantly, I just made a 30-minute video and I realized my mic was muted the whole time. So that is unfortunate. So maybe that might have been a blessing though, because it was 30 minutes. So maybe I can make a more condensed video talking about this. Yeah, I'm just playing some New Game Plus here. And I want to talk about Final Fantasy 16 and the gameplay they showed yesterday. And I want to discuss this bit of a controversial topic because I will say my estimate here, 80% of people are happy about Final Fantasy 16. 20% of people are now upset about Final Fantasy 16. Why is this? Because Final Fantasy 16, the combat of Final Fantasy 16 is, can I skip this? Is, whatchamacallit, it is, I'm going brain dead here because of this cutscene, but it is made by the guy who made DMC5's combat. Can you stop talking to me, please? So, this means that the game plays a lot like Devil May Cry 5, and the combat is incredibly in-depth. It is super advanced, and it's just crazy, right? It's crazy. Now, okay, so first of all, right, this whole controversy was started with this game, right? I believe it was this game, Final Fantasy 15. And the controversy is that turn-based games are better than action games, right? I heavily disagree with this. So the Final Fantasy games that I've played, right, are 10. I've played half of OG 7. I've played this game entirely, and I've played 15. No, or not 15. 14. But I've only played 14 for about like 2 hours. And I played Final Fantasy 15 for 1 hour, and I played, like I said, I played about half of the original 7, and I played all of 7 Remake as well. So, with that being said, the reason I only played about an hour of Final Fantasy X is because it was turn-based, and the gameplay was so boring that I literally couldn't sit through it. The only reason I got halfway through 7 is because I played 7 Remake first, and I enjoyed the game so much that I was willing to play through the original to like, just, you know, get more of the story without having to wait a while. I think I just failed that. Oops. And by the way, as you see, this combat is pretty much done with one button, right? This game has very simple combat, and I'm glad that Final Fantasy 16 is expanding on it. However, especially on Twitter, for example, but you know, Twitter's always like a wasteland. You never really know what to expect, and a lot of the people that are on Twitter are just a minority, and they don't really say what the general, you know, public is thinking. However, I have seen many people say that Final Fantasy 16 is appealing to a casual audience like Call of Duty, yes, Call of Duty, and stuff like that, you know, that type of audience. But I don't, like, yes, turn-based games are not popular anymore because they're so outdated, okay? They're just not cool. But to say a game like DMC, a DMC type of game is appealing to a casual audience is crazy, because there are more people that play Final Fantasy than people that play Devil May Cry, right? Because Devil May Cry is too hard for most people to play. Can I not actually fight these dudes? I was actually going to fight one of these, because I wanted to showcase one of the things that was so awesome about this game, which, even though the combat is very simple, and arguably the combat's not even good in this game, the the fights, you fight gigantic enemies in this game, and they're just so cool. They're so cool. Um, so, and Final Fantasy 16 is bringing that back. However, it looks like it has very good combat. So, the very good combat will be complemented with absolutely sick fights. But yeah, I would like to know why people think that turn-based is better than even this. Even this game's combat is not that great, and it's more entertaining than any turn-based game I've ever played. And turn-based, oh my lord, that frame drop. Turn-based games are carried by their story and their music, not by their gameplay at all, right? And at that point, you know, like, you're pretty much playing... You're not even playing a game, you're just playing a visual novel with extra steps at that point, right? So this game, right? I don't understand how people could say this game right here would have been better if it was a turn-based game. That's just very weird to me because, right, this game has a beautiful world, an amazing story, you know, some great characters, these lads right here, some of the best music ever, right? And then it has okay combat, right? But turn-based games don't have any combat. You just press one button, do a thing. Oh, I'm gonna go heal. Let me heal real quick, you know. Oh, let me change some gear up. You know, that's a turn-based game. So I would like to, you know, really, like ask, like, why are turn-based games considered okay? And I don't want to say they're considered better than like actual action games because only like a small amount of people think that, right? But the fact that a small amount of people think that just blows me away because I mean it's not I don't think turn-based games have ever come close to being as entertaining to Final Fantasy VII Remake or even a game like this, and especially a game like Final Fantasy 16, which is going to have insane combat, right? Insane. And I think the only reason that turn-based games exist is because they want to focus aspects of the game into other places and not worry about the combat as much. And the only reason they existed in the first place, like 30 years ago, is because they literally didn't have the technology to make gameplay, right? But now we do. Yeah, you know, I don't want to make this a too long video. Like I said, I already recorded a 30-minute video, and yeah, I was muted because I'm a genius. So I just want to make a quick video, you know, really talking about this because this is very weird to me that people would prefer turn-based games even over a game like this. And yeah, you know, and if Final Fantasy 16 ends up having a bad story, you know, then yeah, I can see people saying the turn-based games are better because like Final Fantasy stories have always been so strong, right? For the most part. And taking away the stories and the music and the characters for gameplay, that might be betraying what the series is known for, right? However, adding this stuff, adding gameplay to this already existing like world, characters, you know, this level of quality that they already had, they just never had the gameplay, right? And if they add gameplay but keep all the other high quality things, what's the problem? You know, what's the problem there? How is turn-based better in any way? And to be honest, if a game like Persona 5 had crazy flashy combat, I would have beat that game easily. But I got about 30 hours into the game, and I'm just like, You know, the characters, the music, the world is great, but there's no gameplay here. I'm just pressing one button strategically and hoping that you know, my attack doesn't miss or something. Yeah, so, you know, if you are a fan of turn-based games, let me know what advantage they bring over a game like this. And let me know, if you're a fan of action games and turn-based games, let me know why you would play both, right? Because as a fan of action games, I just couldn't see myself playing a turn-based game at all. So, and I have played turn-based games, but again, I've never finished one. I've played a bunch, but I've never finished a turn-based game fully. And even though, yes, I played Persona for like 30 hours, so if I played like Final Fantasy VII for 30 hours, I'd be pretty much done the game, if not done. So, you know, I've never finished one though, and it's just because for me personally, they're called games for a reason. You're supposed to be able to play them, right? And this is also why I don't like games like God of War. I don't like the new God of War. And you know, and I beat that game. I fully beat that game. But I don't like games like that because the gameplay is just so. It's just so boring, right? And what separates God of War and Devil May Cry is that Devil May Cry, you do every single animation in that game. You trigger yourself. You know, you really can do anything in that game, combat-wise. So yeah, I'm not over here being like a sellout, you know, or like a shill for like games like God of War Ragnarok, you know, like American generic third-person Sony games, you know. But I'm also like turn-based games don't get it for me, right? And this game, to be fair, is a lot like a God of War Ragnarok, where you press one button over and over and over again, and you get really cool animations. But again, I think this game has better characters than God of War. I think this game has better music than God of War, and I think this game, obviously, it looks a little dated because this game is 8 years old. But it looks pretty good, right? And the world is very interesting. Um, so, yeah. Um, just let me know how you feel. Am I in the wrong for this, or am I speaking the truth that should not be spoken? Um, I'm not gonna make another Final Fantasy video, by the way. This is just a little like a a little thing, because I was a little curious about how people felt. What's the photo mode button? I actually would like to take a picture here. Use this for the thumbnail. Yeah. This game is wonderful. And I feel like it's helped by its absolutely epic combat and not turn-based. Even though the combat is pretty bad, you do some insane looking things in this game. So, yeah. Just let me know how you feel. And tomorrow I'll have a Tekken video. I'll be back to playing Tekken. So yeah, like, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.